There are so many modifiers to Adrenaline in RuneScape, and unfortunately, the 6 shots of espresso I had while making this video aren't one of them. From equipment to archaeology relics, it can be overwhelming to understand how everything interacts and affects Adrenaline. So let's dive into how this complex system functions. Grab some coffee and a notepad, and welcome to Combat Dummy. Alright, let's quickly recap the basics of Adrenaline. Basic abilities give you 8% Adrenaline. Auto attacks give you 3% Adrenaline. Threshold abilities need 50% Adrenaline and cost 15% Adrenaline. Ultimate abilities require and cost 100% Adrenaline. And special attacks vary on how much Adrenaline they cost, depending on the weapon. Now, not all abilities are intuitive to use. We'll cover these in specific ability videos for each combat style, but here's a few tips to keep in mind. Use your ultimate abilities as often as possible. The best way to do this is to place it at the beginning of your action bar if you're using Revolution. This way, it can be activated whenever it's off cooldown and you have 100% Adrenaline. Speaking of which, don't just sit on 100% Adrenaline. While saving up for your ultimate ability is important, use your thresholds and special attacks while your ultimate is on cooldown. They typically deal more damage than basic abilities. Special attacks can be used frequently. For the most part, they don't have a cooldown and can be used as often as you'd like, provided you have enough Adrenaline. And watch what you eat in combat. The food you consume can affect your Adrenaline. Solid food, like fish, will drain your Adrenaline by 10% when eaten during combat. However, green and blue blubber jellyfish, as well as potions like Ceradomin Brews and Guthix Rests, won't drain your Adrenaline. This makes them more efficient options for maintaining your Adrenaline levels while keeping your health up. While blubbers and potions might be a more expensive food option, they are worth it for maximizing your damage output. Now that we've covered the basics of Adrenaline and shared some tips on managing it, let's dive into the items that change how Adrenaline works. First up, let's talk potions, because who doesn't love a good potion? Adrenaline Potion. Requiring 85 herb lore, these bad boys give a plus 25% Adrenaline boost instantly. Super Adrenaline Potion. Even better, at 87 herb lore, these potions provide an immediate plus 30% Adrenaline boost. Adrenaline Renewal Potion. The creme de la creme, giving you a whopping plus 40% Adrenaline over 6 seconds. These do require at least 115 herb lore to make, but the investment is well worth it. All types of Adrenaline potions are untradeable and require the previous potion to make the next. If you want an in-depth video on how each skill interacts with combat, drop a mushroom emoji in the comments. Next, these are some archaeology relics that even Orlando Smith couldn't keep in the museum. Fury of the Small adds plus 1% Adrenaline to all basic abilities. Persistent Rage regenerates your Adrenaline to 100% outside of combat. Heightened Senses increases your maximum Adrenaline by 10%. And Conservation of Energy regains 10% Adrenaline after using an ultimate ability. With Maximum Monolith Energy, the ideal setup for general PvM is Conservation of Energy, Fury of the Small, and Persistent Rage. From bling to auras, here's a list of equipment that are fantastic for Adrenaline management. The Ring of Vigor saves you 10% Adrenaline after using an ultimate ability, and reduces special attack costs by 10%. Plus, it can be made passive after the Extinction quest. The Asylum Surgeon's Ring gives a 10% chance to prevent Adrenaline loss from threshold abilities, and a 40% chance to save 25% of special attack Adrenaline cost. The Ring of Death has a 50% chance to save 5% Adrenaline when you defeat a target. The Infernal Puzzle Box prevents Adrenaline drain outside of combat after the Tier 3 upgrade, and can be added to your tool belt after Tier 6. The Invigorating perk lets you gain 5% Adrenaline per rank from auto attacks. The Impatient perk has a 9% chance per rank for basic abilities to gain an extra 3% Adrenaline. The Relentless perk has a 1% chance per rank to not consume Adrenaline from thresholds, ultimates, or special attacks. The Invigorate aura saves you 2.5% Adrenaline per tier after using an ultimate ability. And the Inspiration Aura gives you 0.5% adrenaline after every successful attack. I intentionally didn't cover combat style specific items, abilities, or boss mechanics in this video. Those topics deserve videos of their own, and I didn't want to overwhelm you with too much information at once. You can find the series playlist on screen and in the description. While you're there, hit the subscribe button to stay updated. See you in the next video, and as always, stay caffeinated.